You're
Yeah.
welcome back to the On the Fence podcast. We're your host Kenny G, and
Rev.
the only place where we are commanding the conversation with the voices of Fan Nation, which is all of you guys watching this video. This week, it's all about the Washington Commanders versus those Dallas Cowgirls, as I like to call them. One of the longest tenure NFL rivalries. The Commanders are coming off a tough loss against the NFC foes and those dirty Philadelphia Eagles. While the Cowboys are scrambling to salvage their season without Dak Prescott. Let's jump right into this recap of Washington's last game and let's set the stage for this high stakes Week 12 matchup. Let's go, Red.
Let's go. Let's get it.
We'll blaze a trail, raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the Commanders will prevail. Raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the Commanders never fail.
All right, y'all. Let's get into the recap of our Week 11 matchup. And that game was tough. It was tough because it just felt like the team was gassed a little bit, but they still showed up. You could see that the Commanders managed to get 264 total yards on there, but the Eagles had a 434-yard game, which was really, really crazy on there. That rushing yard total was really something that tells the tale of the tape right there. And just even seeing how their passing yards and their time of possession, I feel like the Eagles were really dominant in this game. Kenny, you got any takeaways from that game? Anything that stood out to you?
Man, one of the main things that stood out to me was, of course, the main thing that I talked about as far as shutting down Saquon Barkley. We bottled him up pretty nicely in the first half. The second half, he took off. It was exactly what we said that was going to happen. We had to win the game in the trenches. We didn't win the game in the trenches. They obviously took advantage of a beaten down and battered offense and defensive line coming off of a short week. No excuses. It's the NFL. We still got to do what we got to do, but they definitely took
Absolutely.
advantage of us in the trenches. We came in hurt. It's week 11. Everybody's hurt, but it was a little different. Like our offensive line was truly banged up. And they just knew how to take advantage of it, man. Defensive front, offensive front. As the game went on, they just kept beating down on us, man. I don't even know. I feel like a broken record, but that's exactly what they did to us, man, throughout the game, and it shows on the recap sheet.
Definitely, man. They beat us up. I think that that O line looked gassed, and to your point, there's no excuses. It's the NFL, but I think that looking at the nature of those games, I heard one of the announcers say, I don't know if it was on NFL Network, but they're just like, if you play against a team like Pittsburgh, which is a very tough physical team, then you turn around
Mhm.
4 days later and play a team like Philadelphia, which is also another tough physical team. That even for the best team, that's a tough gauntlet to get out of. And I'm
Right.
happy that our team managed to get out of it just still at 7-4. I mean, that speaks to a good volume of how this team is performing. And that O line looked gassed, right? And that's attributed to playing a tough physical game and turning around and starting to play another tough physical game. In the first half, they were looking pretty good with the run, but in the second half, it all came apart. So it was a little tough to see that, especially watching it in the place where there were a lot of Eagles fans around us. But
Hmm.
you know, we'll
Hmm.
let bygones be bygones. And all I got to say to all you Philly fans out there watching, just know that we still got one more game to play y'all this season. So just don't
At
get
home.
too excited just yet because the season is not over and you still have to play the entire division again. And I'm not saying the Cowboys or the Giants can beat y'all, but those teams like to play spoilers, specifically the Giants. But we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. All right, so we were able to talk a little bit about our game last week and the Eagles. Let's flip the gear and start to jump into this rivalry and this matchup that's coming up. Let's talk a little bit about the Cowboys, man. They are facing some challenges. I have to really enunciate that
Hmm.
because they're going through it right now. Whether it's the stadium falling apart, I know it was due to winds, but hey, it is reflective of what they were saying, what their season looks like Kenny was saying a little bit earlier off camera. So, Kenny, talk to me about this. How do you think that them losing Dak, everything that's going on with their season, I believe they're 3-7. How do you think that's going to impact the Cowboys coming into this game?
Listen, the Cowboys have been playing pretty well through the regular season over the last few seasons, last 3 seasons in particular,
Mhm.
especially with DQ there. And I feel like that's one thing a lot of people aren't talking about more than anything. If you look at it, what's happened to Dallas, right? Like what's really going on over there? And I believe that, DQ not being there and Joe Witt not being there, the absence of them, I don't think, Armstrong and Fowler and Biotish, of course, those are leaders in the team and they made an impact, but DQ brought a few of his guys over from Dallas, but at the same time, man, you could tell that that leadership is gone. DQ kept those guys together, like was that glue. Joe Witt was that glue. You got to think about what kind of leadership that they had. Even though, yes, Mike McCarthy is there, but you still got Jerry Jones as the owner and GM. Um, that's not going to change. And I keep trying to tell guys like, and Dallas fans are crying out to me. They're like, man, like I know they sound like how we sounded for the last 2 decades under Snyder. So hearing that, it's like it feels like a breath of fresh air. I have never known what it felt like to have a true ownership group, and now we have it, and we can laugh. We can laugh, ha ha ha, Dallas fans, ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? Because man, you guys didn't hold back when it came to us. That's why I got this behind here. Y'all still suck. Okay. And that's never going to change. It's not going to change till you get a new owner. And Jerry ain't selling no time soon. You better wait till he croak. So, with that being said, man, I'm telling you guys that it's gonna start. It starts at the top with Dallas. Their problems start at the top, and DQ and Joe Witt were the only guys that I feel like who was in that building that could really you know, keep that gel together and play with some type of synergy, at least on the defensive side of the ball. Because it's a clear difference, and we're gonna go into all of those differences in terms of how they're performing this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a difference. I do think DQ not being there is a major difference for them. Mike Zimmer is there installing his own off defense, and he's a well-renowned defensive coach. But definitely, there are still some standouts from the DQ administration. What's his name? Al Harris. He's still there, their DB coach,
Right.
and I think that's reflective of how their DB group has been playing, regardless of how bad their
Should be our
defense
defensive back
is.
coach,
Correct.
but
Yeah, they blocked that. They blocked that interview. It's okay. But regardless of how bad their defense overall, the team's playing, their secondary is actually still playing really, really well. Like their secondary is putting up some decent numbers. They're still sticking covers. They're still getting pressure. They're still doing some really good things. It's just not coming together, especially without a quarterback. They're not able to move the ball offensively like they once were. So Dallas is definitely going through it. But like Kenny said, as a Commanders, Redskins fan, it's kind of hard to feel sorry for them. I'll never forget them pulling turkey legs out of the little Salvation Army thing and crushing them in front of us on Thanksgiving and just coming in all our games
hmm,
super confident. So, them being bad right now, I have no sympathy whatsoever. I empathize 100% because I'm a Commanders fan. So, I know how I feel to have had a bad team in the past, but do I sympathize? No. So Dallas, it is what it is. Tough break. Y'all still got to suit up and play on Sunday, and I hope that y'all bring out a game because this is still a rivalry, one of the best rivalries, and we want to beat y'all. Y'all know that. We want to beat Dallas, and that's what we're supposed to do. Good team take care of business against not so good teams. So we need to come into this game and really let them know that this is a new era in the Commanders, and they're just not where they used to be anymore. And maybe when Dak comes back, they can get back to prominence. But now it's our time to shine. NFC East goes through Washington and Philadelphia. Come holla at
come holla, baby. Yeah, Red.
us.
So, Fan Nation, let's take a deep dive into the heart of this game, the key matchups that will decide the outcome, and the strategies Washington needs to focus on to get this bounce back.
All right, man. Let's jump into these key matchups and let's highlight them a little bit. The first thing that comes to my mind it's going to be the trenches. You know, I love the trenches, bro. I love the front
Don't we
seven.
both?
I love the front sevens. I love the big uglies in the offensive line. And my main matchup in this one is going to be the Commanders' O line versus Dallas's defensive front. Our O line, honestly, up until maybe last week, was really the highlight of the season for me so far. As many of y'all who've been following our pod so far know, we've been shouting out Bobby Johnson a lot on this podcast. Hopefully he's subscribing
Yeah.
because we show him a lot of love over here. So with
Yes, we
that
do.
being said, our offensive line is going to be one of those areas where we really need to get back to the way we were playing. You know, last week they looked gassed. They've had 10 days, which will be the time frame that has elapsed from their last game to when they play Dallas. And I think that's an ample amount of time in their worlds in order to get kind of recovered, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. Spend some time with family, get your body right, do all those things. So that way you can really get back to it on Wednesday and really
Hang out
attack
with
this
Wale.
week. You hang out with Wale, you already know, dude. Whatever it is that can get you ease. And for anybody who's wilding, Jaden Daniels' mom was there. So let's not get over our head because how much trouble can he really get into with his mom there? But I digress. I want to get back to our offensive line and our defensive front, right? I think that if our offensive line can return back to form, even though Dallas's defensive front is formidable, specifically on third down, like them boys are ranked 11th in third down right now, which is super impressive. I was very impressed when I saw that stat. I don't think we can loaf on them. I think that our offensive line needs to prepare as if they're playing a world class team because when it comes to their front seven at Dallas, they are world class. They have some talent. Regardless of them being banged up, trying to get into the groove of a post DQ world, they can still play. They still get paid too. And I don't, even though the spreads are wide right now, I don't want the team to take on the mentality of, oh, we're going to go in here and just beat them up. It's going to be easy because they can easily beat you if you're not careful. So um, that's one of the, i.e., the Ravens. So that's just one of those things that I want to be mindful of, and I'm going to be continuing to watch that play down there in the trenches. Kenny, what you got?
One of my key matchups, key matchups. And we talked about it last week. Literally talked about it last week. Terry McLaurin versus that Dallas secondary. So Terry versus Trayvon Diggs, because they probably gonna match him up. We said it last week against Philly. He didn't prevail. Quinyon Mitchell locked them down. Mitchell Island, it still states to be true.
They're calling it Guantanamo Bay.
Quintanamo Bay.
Yeah,
Listen,
crazy.
the Rook had his day last week. He had his card, man. Terry didn't do anything, got shut down. This week, he has to show out. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. JD struggled with pressure in his face last week. So, you know, all season, that's why he's had so much success, is because his jersey's been so clean. He could bake a cake back there in the pocket for all he
Hmm.
wanted with the amount of time that he had in comparison to last week.
Yeah.
Even against Pittsburgh, we put up 27 points, okay, against that defense. TJ Watt didn't have any sacks against us. All right. We did what we were supposed to do. We came to work. Our offensive line was banged up. And that's the reason why I hope that this 10-day, this mini bye week we just had, that, they come back and they're just a little bit refreshed, a little bit more healthy. And JD will have the time that he needs because nothing's going to work up front unless if he has the time. Our offense, that's where it starts. It starts up front. So, I believe that JD and Terry come, that synergy, that relationship that they've been building throughout the entire season will continue to blossom. Now, one thing that I'll say, Austin Eckler, I love you, bro, but you cannot be our most productive player on offense this week. Last week, you were that. And that's because JD had to turn into a check down king because he just had no time and couldn't see downfield. So, um, man, I just absolutely believe that our offense needs to come together. Terry McLaurin, needs to be a key in this game in order for us to win.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think what you're saying lines up, right? I think we're both sharing similar sentiments because uh, that five-man rush that a lot of teams have been playing the last 2 weeks, Philly and Pittsburgh, is something that, is putting a lot more pressure on Jaden. And that hasn't been the case. Teams haven't been rushing us on five-man fronts and playing man. So I think to your point, O-line hold up. Terry's going to be on a lot of man coverage, which he can eat against, and we can turn up if we do this right, And I feel prepared that DQ is going to get those boys to the right level, and we're going to really make something great out of this. I also want to talk a little bit about our defense going up against Dallas's run game, as well as how they plan to keep Cooper Rush clean against us. What are your thoughts on that?
They're gonna fail. Um, promise you that. This is one thing I haven't talked about yet in this and coming out, and I guess I might as well talk about it now. Um, Dallas, I have no confidence in Dallas winning this game. I just want to put that out there, like zero confidence. I know we said we can't lay an egg and all that. So, Reb, I don't think that at all. First of all, I just feel like all the stars align for us to win this game, and it's not just going to be a situation where we win by 3 points or a touchdown. I think we're going to pummel them. I feel like it's going to be a massacre at Northwest. I truly believe that. Their offensive strategy, just throw it out. Just throw it out. Mike, you saw Mike McCarthy. He had the plays up.
Mhm.
Everyone can zoom in. ESPN zoomed in on the plays. I'm sure DQ knows what he's going to call too. That's the thing. Like no one understands that team. No one in the league is gonna understand that team more than DQ and Joe Witt. Like no one's gonna
Absolutely.
understand how to neutralize that offense, okay, more than DQ and Joe Witt because
Absolutely.
he was there. He was there with them. Like they were there when Dallas had success and when they didn't have success. So they knew what teams had to do and how to strategize. You don't think he's in Cliff's ear talk about their defense? In terms of it's going to go back and forth. He knows both sides of the ball. He knows the defense and he damn sure knows the offense. He had to practice against them every day. Come on, man.
Hmm.
This is it's not even fair. Like honestly, I don't even think it's fair. The type of situation that we're put in Dallas, I just feel like their back is against the wall, completely
Yeah.
against the wall in this kind of situation. All we have to do as Washington when Washington comes down, okay, defense needs to collapse the pocket against Cooper Rush. We
Hmm.
cannot let him get comfortable at any point in the game. I believe Armstrong and Fowler are going to have a not a coming out party because they already came out. Okay, they're going to have an amazing game against their old team. You don't think they want to come out there and get those brownie points? You
Hmm.
don't think they want to come out there and smack Rush right in the face? Like they're gonna have a huge game today, man. As long as we keep that pressure on Rush, all right, and we force them to be one dimensional, if we're leading, JD's driving down the field, we're up by a touchdown or two throughout the game. They're not even going to have a chance to run the ball. That's the reason why I truly believe that their run game is going to be non-existent, just like it was last week against Houston. It was
Yeah.
completely non-existent, and Rush had to sit back there and get smacked in the pocket.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that run game for the Cowboys hasn't really been moving as much, and I think that's really good for us because our defense, as we know, is not really great at stopping the run. So I think this is going to be a good opportunity for them to get a little bit of a reprise, maybe, start to get into the opposite direction of that trend, right? Start to trend upwards and stopping the run and getting a little bit better. Specifically, if a guy like Marshawn Lattimore manages to make it on the field, maybe not this game, but just going forward, maybe this could be a good spark to when that happens to kind of get our run defense shored up again. Definitely, as far as our pass rush goes, you made a really good point with Dorrance Armstrong and Fowler. Honestly, I've been happy with how those guys have been performing for us. Part of me, it almost slipped my mind for just a moment that they used to play for the Cowboys and what that's going to mean to them going back
Hmm.
against their team for the first time and they get to do it at their new home. Yeah, those boys are going to show out. We already know
Come on.
Dante the dog, how he's rolling already. And I think Dorrance is definitely going to want to come out as well too. So those were really some good takes on there, man. I'm enjoying that, and it got me pumped to see how this game is gonna go. I definitely, it's crazy to think that the Dallas Cowboys are that team that is looked at as a get right game now, right? That used to be
Hmm.
us. We used to be that team that was the get right game. So for me, it's just crazy to see how the tables have turned, and I'm
Yes, they
excited,
have.
man. I'm feeling like I'm feeling good, bro. I'm excited about
I'm
this
telling you,
game.
I need
Seriously, man.
that energy. I'm bringing it to the pod, baby. All of y'all who are watching this right now. We
Yeah.
need that energy.
Yeah.
Bring
Tell
it
us
in
how
the
you
comments.
feel. Put it in the
Tell us,
comments.
put it in the comments. Let us know how you feel. What your score prediction is. Who do you think is gonna be a breakout player? Give us your thoughts. Give us your opinions. We want it. Please bring it.
For sure, for sure. Definitely let us know. Before we go and talk a little bit about our game plan for the Commanders, I wanted to put one last thing. When you talk about breakout players, you just sparked this thought. Let's just be mindful for Turpentine. Turpin is
Mm,
a true home run threat. I went back and I watched that Houston Texans
yes,
game, and he definitely got loose. And we know how our team can be when it comes with those big plays. So that is just one little highlight I want to put out
for
there.
sure.
Turpin is a bright spot in their offense, and we got to watch that guy. All right, Kenny. I want to talk next about the game plan. I want to focus in just a little bit on that. Let's talk about how Washington can exploit Dallas's weaknesses. Earlier on, we were just talking a little bit about their inability to run and how that might go on. So let's build a little bit on that. What other weaknesses has Dallas shown, or what weaknesses do you want to magnify a little bit there?
This is one of the main things I've been stressing, especially to our commanded community, is that on paper it looks like we're winning this game. I mean, strictly on paper, it really looks good, but we don't win the game on paper.
Mm-mm.
And the one thing we're gonna have to do, and I feel like the only focus on offense should be running the goddamn football. That needs to be our focus. Running the ball against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. They give up big plays on first and second down. They give up huge plays in the run game. Joe Mixon had a field day against them, three
Mm-hmm.
TDs, 100 plus
Mm-hmm.
yards. I mean, he was dancing throughout the end zone. He galloped on the third touchdown. I mean, played
He was
around with
waving to
them,
people
okay?
on the way in. He was doing all that,
Waving,
man. He
okay?
was getting after them
So
boys.
come on, man. When they come to Northwest, I need the same kind of disrespect from B. Rob, Eckler, McNichols, JD. We all four of them need to score a goddamn touchdown. All right, and I'm calling it right now. Our offense is going to have 250 plus rushing yards against their defense. Okay,
Wow.
so when they come here, we're gonna run the ball, and we're gonna run the ball, and we're gonna run the ball some more. Anthony Lynn and Cliff Kingsbury, they're going to set up an exotic run style offensive scheme against that defense, and that is going to be the focus. B Rob is healthy. They don't have a ferocious front like the Philadelphia Eagles. B Rob is healthy. We're going to see what's going to happen in Dallas. Come on. Come on. Get ready for this ass whooping.
Well said, my friend. Well said. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think that Dallas comes into this, poised to take a L when it comes to some of those things that you just mentioned. Defensively, they are 31st in that they're averaging 151 yards a game. But 250 plus yards, that's an astounding number. But hey, against this team and the way their offense is unable to score and finish in the red zone, there's a good chance that their defense might be on the field for a really long time. And the longer your defense is out in the field, things are bound to happen. Who knows? Like you said, exotic runs. They might come out and start doing all types of crazy runs out of 13 personnel like we were doing before. And really just kind of getting on that hustle. So we might see what happens, man. I really enjoyed that take on how we can exploit their weaknesses. I definitely think that we need to be good on first and second down, though, because one weakness that Dallas does not have is third down efficiency. They're actually really good defensively on third down. So we definitely
Correct.
need to make sure that we're keeping that ball moving on the first and second downs and avoid as many long third down situations as possible. Because this Dallas team has shown that they can show up in those situations.
I got a couple. I just have some stats I want to read off really quick.
Hmm.
For our fans out there, just to give them perspective on how bad Dallas has been. This is five straight losses. Okay, they're coming in with a streak of five losses, the longest since 2015. 9 years since they've had five straight losses. Since week six, they're negative 102 in the points margin, which is the worst in the NFL. They're giving up 291 yards per game, which is 28th in the NFL, and they're negative 10 in a turnover margin, which is worst in the NFL.
Yeah.
Another fun statistic, this is the first time they've started 0-5 at home since 1989, which was their first season under Jerry Jones ownership. It's been a long time. So they're not winning at home, and damn sure they ain't about to come. They're not about to come to I was gonna say FedEx, but they're not about to come to Northwest and get this dub either. Man, they really have been historically bad this year,
Hmm.
and it just feels good to be on the other side.
Definitely, definitely. I don't want to get too comfortable, dancing in other people's misery, even as much as it is fun, especially when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm
But
going to.
I mean, karmatic
Hmm.
reasons are why I state that. But you know, I'm all for it. I'm happy to see us on the other side of this, and that leads me into kind of our next point. There is kind of the adjustments that we need to make from last week's game going into that. You talked about it a little bit with running the ball and being more consistent with that. I definitely think that 10-day rest, that mini bye, is going to help out with that. Another thing that I want us to kind of focus in on is that turnover, right? Like I think we've gotten
Mm.
a touch sloppy when it comes with taking care of the ball over the last 2 weeks or so. So I want to talk a little bit about what you think might be causing that, or some things that maybe we need to focus on to shore up our ball handling and make sure that we can make some good adjustments to truly get that dub.
Well, I'll tell you this. We came 2 weeks in a row. We played some very, very tough opponents.
Hmm.
Um, I really need our fan base to like press the pause button and understand the position that we're in. Number one, we're 7-4.
Hmm.
We're coming in. This is our first week of a recalibration. I'm sorry, first year, not first week, first year
Yeah.
into our recalibration. So we need to damper the expectations. Our fan base, I don't know. I don't know. You guys thought we were, New England Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in his prime, the way you guys are talking. Guys, it's our first year. Like let's really damper the, expectations and understand like where we are. Let's come back to reality. We was a little in Delulu land. A lot of us was calling for Super Bowl. Let's really hold our horses, okay? Let's we are we came out the womb as babies, okay? And we are still producing, and we're only gonna get better.
Yeah.
This is different from any other old regime in the past where we came out the womb and we could barely take baby steps. We in full sprint coming out of mama's womb right now. And I love the fact that we can just say, we can cheer on a team and say, we have a chance
Hmm.
every single Sunday. Finally, we have a team that has a chance that's only going to get better. We're not taking steps back. We're only taking steps forward. So when we play some uber competitive teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles that's loaded with talent and has coaches, like Mike Tomlin and talent all over the field like the Philadelphia Eagles, we don't have any of that, guys. We haven't even given AP a multiple off seasons to build that. Give us a couple more years, and then we could really compete, really, really compete. But understand something: when we make mistakes and we have a couple bad weeks against some really great teams, Super Bowl bound teams, sometimes we got to hit the reality check and understand we didn't get plummeted. We didn't. It's not like we laid an egg on Sunday, on Thursday. We didn't lay an egg. Yes, we lost, but at the end of the day, at least you could say hold your head up high because this is a new team. This is a new regime. And this is our get right game. These next 2 weeks are get right weeks, and then we go into our week 14 bye, which is perfect on time. So in my eyes, man, I'm happy with where we are. And those turnovers you was talking about, I don't care about them because we're gonna fix them. I really do. I truly believe that we're gonna fix it. It's not like JD threw 4 picks. It's not like we had
It's just the
Austin.
fumbles
Yeah,
and just
the,
the poor ball handling and some of that stuff that we've been seeing in there has
for
definitely been
sure,
things that need to
for
shore
sure.
up.
And I think we will because we're a tough-minded team. DQ's gonna
Definitely.
get them right. I truly believe we have the leadership and the group that's gonna get right. All right. And adversity happens. It's how you respond to it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I definitely think adversity is going to happen and they're going to bounce back. A lot of that stuff, I don't want to make excuses for the team because they're professionals, but a lot of that stuff is attributed to just being gassed and beat up. And I think that mini bye is going to make a big difference. Getting back to practice, DQ made a good point about JD missing time with practice when it came to that injury. And honestly, we've seen the fall off since that injury because of some of that missed time. The timing is off, those low passes and things like that. But I think you did a pretty good job of summing that up. I'm not gonna dive too deep on that. I'm gonna move back into my favorite subject, which is the defense.
Mm,
I love me some defense, and I'm ready to see how our team is going to contain Dallas's playmakers. Let's talk a little bit about some of those strategies. I know earlier on I talked a bit about Turpin. I do think that's going to be one of those major things. Watching out, specifically in the secondary, and usually I would say I got to watch the run. Right, our defense has shown us this season that they're susceptible to good running football teams. I.e. Saquon Barkley, right? But who does Dallas have as a running back that I feel that our defense has to really, shore up, like, and put an extra man in the box to stop? I don't see any names like Joe Mixon. I don't see Derrick Henry. I don't see heck, even Tony Pollard. I don't even see that name back there right now. I
right.
see Zeke Elliott wearing number 15. Who is that guy? I see what number 23, Duato. Kenny didn't even know his name earlier. Like, he's a good guy. He Rico
Mr.
Duato.
Rico.
I've seen him. Rico. He's done it. Uncle Rico. He's done some good things, but I need us to make him look like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. For anybody who
There you
hasn't seen
go.
that movie, go look that up. Uncle Rico. I need us to make him look like that Uncle Rico. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back to our boy Mikey Sanistrell and the secondary. One of the most impressive things that I think came out of last week's game was not just Mikey Sanistrell himself, but our defense has emerged in the pass rankings. We're a top 5 pass defense right now. And it doesn't feel like that because we have St.
Mm,
Juice and he's been causing, but look at most of St. Juice's mishaps have come on penalties. It's not because he's getting burnt all the time. He's been strapping in places he had. The secondary has been strapping, and I think that goes to our pass rush also being pretty efficient as well too. Even in that Eagles game, we were getting after Jalen Hurts. He's just mobile. So I'm excited to see our defense really shore up and make some adjustments. And we talked about turnovers for the offense. I'm trying to see some turnovers for the defense. And I think that this is a prime opportunity to get right on that turnover margin and really start to get
big
some
time.
picks, man. Like I want to see
Yep.
Mikey get another pick. I would love to see, another Jeremy Chin pick. Hey, maybe we might even see Manny Forbes get a pick. Who knows? He might be at Rose Bar, but we might still be able to mix him in his schedule, right? So I'm excited about that, Kenny. Talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts are on the defense and how we can go ahead and hold down this Dallas offense.
Man, our defense, you number 5 in pass defense,
Yeah,
averaging
it's crazy.
185 yards a game.
Blew my mind.
What? Huh? Like, who is this team? Who is this team? Because I want to know what the rankings are from week 6 on. Because Lord, man, like this is crazy. I
Hmm.
honestly like we've turned it around. Joe Witt and DQ have turned around this defense. I absolutely love the way that they have them playing. They've been playing with their hair on fire. The move from Sandra Strill going from inside to outside has made a significant difference
Definitely.
on that 100% because he's been following the number one receiver majority of the game. Like AJ Brown, he followed him majority of the game. Okay. And when he was off the field, if he was off the field, then he was on Smith. So I bet I've also, I've noticed that even with Pickens, he was one-on-one with Pickens pretty much in almost the entire game. So that's a big spot for a rookie DB to be in, to be following big time Pro Bowl, all pro receivers. Like, it's a big time spot to ask for your rookie corner. And and then Chin stepping up to the plate. Man, my God. Like, dude, like I love it. He's looking like he's playing in his rookie year. I just absolutely love the way that our defense is just getting the most out of everyone. Joe Witt, they hold them. I believe our defense is held to the highest standard. Like, even though we were playing bad, you could tell that they were extremely upset. He was pissed off in those post press conferences. I mean, absolutely pissed off. Joe Witt has to come from some kind of military background, because the way he gets up there and speaks, he's a no nonsense
His dad
coach.
was a defensive coach.
There it goes. So
Yeah.
that tells you a lot right there,
Hmm.
because he don't take shit from nobody, man. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: when Dallas comes back in town, that's why I'm trying to say it's like we are really looking over the fact that Witt used to coach there and Quinn used to coach there just last year. Like, come on, man, they're going to know what to do in order to stop them on offense and defense. It's one of the key reasons why I believe that we are going to shut down their offense, whether Dak was playing or not. The fact that Dak isn't playing is even more of a reason for me to have as much confidence as I do in our offense, because hey, I'm sorry, in our defense, because their run game I'm not scared of. So you think I'd be scared of Cooper Rush? Get out of here, bro. Stop it.
Oh man. All right. Let's hope this ages really well and we're not eating our words come Monday morning.
I
But I doubt that's
promise
going
you
to
we
be the
won't.
case. I think we're going to be just fine where we're at. And
We're
it's
gonna
just
be
nice to
great.
see the tables turning. Let's keep this party
Ah,
going and move on into our favorite segment. All right, y'all. It's time for our favorite part, score and bold prediction. Kenny, what is your bold prediction for Dallas week? How are we gonna kick off this rivalry, man? How we going, man? What are you feeling, man? You can see I'm shaking over here. I'm ready to run through a brick wall. Talk me about your bold predictions, bro.
listen, I'm doing the total opposite. I'm chilling. I am not shaking, not one bit.
Oh, I'm shaking in excitement. I'm ready to go.
Listen, you may be ready to go, but I'm telling you right now, I don't even know why they even coming to the stadium. Like, I don't even know why they like are coming to DC and heading to Landover, because they might as well just go ahead and hop right back on the private jet and just head right back to Austin, Texas. Because my bold prediction is we're gonna win by minimum 3 touchdowns. Mikey's gonna hold Lamb to 0 touchdowns. Now,
Okay.
my score prediction, I'm gonna say this with the straightest face, and I'm dead serious, fan nation. Score prediction: 100 to -2.
I'm mad that I need a scientific calculator in order to comprehend your score prediction.
These
Well,
Bama's suck so bad they can't even put up a point. They're gonna get -2. Some way, somehow, they're gonna find a way to get negative points on the board because they suck so bad. Okay, that's what I'm gonna tell you. We gonna put up 100 on them. Like,
oh my
we gonna
God.
Mariota's not even gonna be quarterback. Cliff Kingsbury gonna come in and play quarterback.
Stop
That's how
playing.
bad these Bama's suck.
Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Mariota gonna be in before halftime, bro. And then Cliff gonna come and finish out the fourth quarter.
That's crazy. That's already after Driscoll done played and got
Driscoll done
benched.
play. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't even in uniform. Just like Cliff ain't come prepared in uniform, Driscoll either. Sir, would you like to get dressed? Mariota going, you could use my helmet today. And
Oh
Bro,
my goodness.
man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be curtains for them cow girls.
Okay. All right, y'all heard Kenny. Y'all heard him. I mean, listen, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I'm gonna take a little bit more of a humble approach, but I feel the energy though. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just gonna take a slightly more humble approach to this. My bold prediction is going to be that we're gonna have a special teams touchdown in this game. I think we are overdue for one that's actually gonna stay on the board. So we need a special teams touchdown that's actually gonna stay on the board and not get called back. I'm also, y'all know me, y'all know what I love, pick six. It's one of those games where I think we're gonna get a pick six. Like I haven't called one in a while. We're gonna get a pick six in this one. I don't know who's gonna do it. Maybe it'll be Dante the dog again. Who knows? But we're gonna get a pick six in this game and a special teams touchdown. That's my bold prediction coming into this game. As for my score prediction, I'm not. I'm not going Commanders by a million like Kenny is. I'm going just a touch more down to earth and with 31-7, with the caveat that we're going to be up 21-0 at halftime. So that's my score prediction and my bold prediction. As you can see by Kenny's stance, that we are ready for this game. We're excited. For our journey as Commanders fans, for the most of our life, we got a chance to watch these epic rivalry matchups. Hence why Kenny has his Cowboys suck. He feels that energy, and you can see my background. I got Mr. 8 to the 9 himself. This is one of those big matchups, Fan Nation, and you all know, for our younger fans, you are getting to know this, because for most of your life, Dallas has been beating up on us, but we got a chance to see some days where we were beating up on them Cowboys, and even got a chance to mess up some playoff hopes for them. So we're going to get back into this year, beat up on those Cowboys. Fan Nation, we want to continue to hear from all of you all. The love, the interaction, the community building has been so fantastic up until this now, and we want to continue to build that with you all. So please like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, holla at us on any of our social medias. You'll see the handle on the screen, and just let's keep going, man. Let's keep raising hell. Let's keep
Let's go.
this energy up, man. It's straight up hell yeah. It's all around here. All the Commanders, acronyms, synonyms, metaphors, all of it, man. We're taking all that energy right now, as you can see on our shirt. We're ready for a big matchup this week, and yeah, we'll see y'all live from Northwest Stadium on Sunday.
Go Lot D, baby.
Go.
D31. Pull up, come see us, ask us for an interview. We won't bite, I promise you. We are exactly who we see you are online, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're the same exact way. Pull up, Go Lot D. The invite is open. We love to see y'all there at the game.
Yeah. And with that being said, we will see you on the next episode of the On Defense podcast. Peace out, Fan Nation. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
We'll blaze a trail, raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the Commanders will prevail. Raise hell, raise hell. Hell to the Commanders never frail. From kickoff to the final play, we're here to win, come what may. Together strong, we'll blaze a way.